Hello citizens and welcome back. In today's video I will take a look at all the game packages currently available in Star Citizen, show you the ships they contain and the perks they grant, and talk about the differences. As always, if you like this video, sacrifice a like and a comment to the YouTube algorithm and subscribe for more. And here's a shout out to our amazing patrons for their support of the channel and the armory. Before I get into the game packages, I would like to point out that CIG often used the term starter ship when describing some ships. Sometimes even interchangeably with game package, but this is not correct. While many starter ships are contained in game packages, starter ships are meant to be entry-level ships for certain professions. Meanwhile, a game package, as the name suggests, gives you access to the game, basic insurance for the ship contained, a hangar, and some starting money, meaning that you need a game package to play the game. In this video, I will cover the various game packages and the hull upgrade process or CCU, and I will cover the starter ships for all professions in a separate video in the future. So I will talk about the game packages in order of cost at the time of writing, starting with the two cheapest. If you're considering getting into Star Citizen, one of these two will most likely be your game package. Also, if you're considering getting Star Citizen, consider using my referral code, which you will find in the description, for some extra in-game money, and if I did everything right, then this video is coming out about 5 days before CitizenCon, so there will definitely be some discounted game packages as well as a referral bonus. And finally, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments or join my Discord where you will find many experienced players who are willing to help you out. Actually, before I begin, the major differences between these game packages besides the ship and the price are insurance and starting money. Starting money tells you how much money will you start with when the alpha ends. Currently, this number has no effect on how much money you start with when you first open the game or after a wipe. Insurance is a bit more complicated. Currently, insurance has no effect on gameplay. However, when it's implemented, insurance will guarantee that your ship will be replaced if it's lost. We don't know what the insurance system will look like in the end, but CIG have stated that ship insurance will be very affordable with in-game currency. Now, you will see a lot of players go after something called LTI for their ships. LTI stands for Lifetime Insurance. And that's exactly what it is. Insurance for your ship forever. We will talk about it a bit more at the end of the video when I cover hull upgrades. Also, I've been a backer since 2015, so I've had plenty of flight time on all the ships mentioned further. And I do have some favorites, but I will be as objective as possible in order to allow you to make an informed choice. Also, this video is quite long, so there are chapters and timestamps in the description. Let's start with the Aurora MR, manufactured by Roberts Space Industries, which was actually my starter ship, and I spent my first year in Star Citizen flying it. This package comes with 3 months of insurance, 1000 UEC of starting money, and it costs $54.45, unless on sale. Small note, the Aurora and the Mustang game packages are often on sale during events, so keep an eye out if you want to save some money. The Aurora MR is one of many Aurora variants available in-game, and it is the multi-role variant of the ship. It may not seem like it, but it is actually a fairly capable ship. Let's start with a tour. There are 2 main features you will notice on the Aurora when walking around. First is that there is an entrance door on both sides of the cabin, meaning you can enter from either side. Second, under the belly of the ship there is a cargo rack which can take 3 SCU of cargo, but unfortunately it won't take mission boxes, but you can store those inside. In the future, this cargo rack should be capable of holding standard containers. The Aurora isn't very exceptional on the inside, but it is a great example of the RSI ship design language. Inside you will find the pilot seat and a small bed that feels very much like a coffin, but it will serve its purpose when needed. The Aurora will eventually get a rework. I am hoping that it will replace one of the doors with a storage locker and maybe a weapons rack, as one of the uses for the Aurora is exploration. The cockpit view is surprisingly good, considering all the struts and structural elements. The overall flight experience of the Aurora is also better than you would expect from something that looks like a brick. It will definitely slide in tighter turns, but it can handle itself in a fight with similar opponents. Which brings me to potential uses. You can use the Aurora in combat to some extent. It features 2 weapons and 2 empty hardpoints for you to add weapons to, as well as missiles, so you can turn it into quite a decent small fighter to clear bounties with. It will also support delivery and retrieval missions. The main reason to pick the Aurora is the included bed. The main drawback is the somewhat clumsy controls at higher speeds. Now let's move on to the other low-cost game package, the Mustang Alpha. The Mustang Alpha by Consolidated Outland is the other starter ship that costs $54.45. Just like the Aurora, it comes with 3 months of insurance and 1000 UEC of starting money. However, it is a fundamentally different ship and has fairly recently gone through a visual and functional rework, and also it had some more changes applied to it in 3.17. When walking around, you will immediately notice the striking shape and the folding wings, along with the fully transparent bubble cockpit. Walking to the rear of the ship, you will find a deployable cargo container where you can store cargo boxes. The ship can also carry 4 SCU of cargo in this container. Unlike the Aurora, the Mustang has no bed and no interior space besides the pilot seat. However, there is an exploration variant that features a full interior instead of the cargo container in the rear. The cockpit of the Mustang is quite different from many other ships, featuring an almost unrestricted view and a dashboard that's one screen displaying multiple MFDs. In flight, the Mustang is quite agile and can handle tight turns. It features 2 guns mounted in a nose turret with very good movement range and 2 additional empty hardpoints on the wings. However, it cannot mount missiles like the Aurora. Overall, the Mustang can support the same mission set as the Aurora, but it can handle more combat, which is the main reason to pick the Mustang. The main drawback is the lack of an interior and a bed. Let's move on to a bit of an oddball, the Pisces. The Pisces by Anvil Aerospace was originally designed as a support ship for the Anvil Carrack exploration ship, as it can land in its hangar. But this small ship is very capable on its own as well. At $72.60, it comes with 6 months of insurance and 1,000 UEC of starting money. I actually own a Pisces, and it is one of my favorite small ships to fly around in and deliver boxes or explore crash sites with. The Pisces is a very simple ship. Its shape and design language mirror the Carrack. The interior is very Spartan as well. The striking feature are the 2 additional jump seats that allow you to transport your friends. Combined with the 4 SC of cargo space and the small size of the ship, this makes the Pisces the perfect entry-level ship for cave mining expeditions with your friends. The main reason to pick the Pisces is the speed and agility and the extra seats. The drawback is that the ship is very lightly armored and can't take as much damage as other ships mentioned, though I have seen some people use it as a fighter as well. Next up, the entry-level luxury ship, the 100i. The 100i from Origin Jumpworks is the smallest ship of their I line, followed by the 300i, 400i, and the 600i. Origin is the luxury brand of Star Citizen, so the ships, while looking very stylish, come at a price. The 100i will cost you $78.65, and it comes with 6 months of insurance and 1,000 UEC of starting money. From the outside, you will be struck by the very smooth and sleek shape of this ship. It also sits very low to the surface, making the entry very comfortable. Entering from the side, you will find yourself in the living area, which only contains a bed and a small storage locker to put delivery boxes into. The cargo variant of the 100i also comes with a small ramp in the rear to load cargo. Moving forward, you will find the pilot seat. The 100i is truly the entry-level Origin experience and lacks a lot of the flair we're used to seeing, but it is a good ship nevertheless. It's not a brawler, but it can hold its own in a fight, as well fly you to a cave to mine or to an outpost to make deliveries. Though the main reason to pick the 100i is not in the game yet. The 100i features a unique fuel scooping system that will allow it to collect fuel more efficiently than other ships. And this is actually the biggest drawback of the 100i. Also, personally, I think that the 300i would have been a better choice, and I have no idea why it's not a game package option. Moving on to one of my favorite ships in the game, the Avenger Titan. The Avenger Titan, manufactured by Aegis Dynamics, punches way above its weight, and it was the ship I ended up upgrading my Aurora to. At the price of $84.70, you will get 6 months of insurance and 1,000 UEC of starting money. The exterior of the Titan is not exceptional in many ways, though I will mention that you can reach the pilot seat by either a ladder from the exterior or through the interior of the ship. At the rear of the ship, you will find a loading ramp and the cargo bay, which will take 8 SCU of cargo. Moving forward, you will enter a small living area which currently only has a bed, but I'm hoping that eventually CIG will add a locker and maybe a sink. Moving all the way forward, you will find the cockpit. The Avenger is very fun to fly. It's fast and agile and lives up to its reputation as a courier ship. It can hold its own in a fight with 3 guns and some missiles. It really is a small jack of all trades. You can use it for cave mining expeditions, deliveries, cargo running, and combat missions. This is the main reason to pick the Avenger. And it is what I usually recommend people upgrade their Aurora and Mustang to, as I believe it combines the best of both. It's difficult for me to find a drawback to the Avenger as it gives you all the possibilities to enjoy various gameplay loops and it is very customizable in terms of components. Now let's move on to one of the more expensive choices with one of the best light fighters in the game, the Anvil Arrow. The Arrow, made by Anvil Aerospace, is one of the most agile and deadly light fighters in the game currently. At $108.90 it comes with 6 months of insurance and 1000 UEC of starting money. From the outside, the Arrow has very interesting look with angled edges forming the curve of the ship as well as the iconic arrowhead shape. The interior of the ship only consists of the cockpit. The Arrow has unparalleled agility and is one of the most fun ships to fly, at least for me. It was built for fast-paced combat and it excels at it. But this will limit your options as it can't carry any cargo at all. So you will have to stay with combat missions and the occasional cave mining mission where you will only be able to mine what fits into your backpack. In the hands of a skilled pilot, the Arrow is a potent weapon and it's an excellent introduction to combat gameplay in Star Citizen. The drawback is obvious. You will be limited to combat only if you buy this ship. Moving on to a very odd looking but very interesting ship, the Nomad. The Nomad by Consolidated Outland is quite an eccentric ship. It provides a mix of exploration, mining, and cargo opportunities that many solo players will find interesting. At $114.95, it comes with 6 months of insurance and 1000 UEC of starting money. From the outside, you will see two features that set the Nomad apart from other ships in the game. First of all, it hovers above the ground even when powered off. Second, it features an external cargo bay which can be lowered to load a vehicle. As far as vehicles, it will fit hoverbikes, a rock, a mule, or a cyclone. It can also carry 24 SCU of cargo. Moving up the ladder to the inside of the ship is where the really cool stuff starts. First, you enter the utility area. Here you'll find access to some of your components, a storage locker, and a bathroom. Moving forward, you will enter the living area, and this is the truly incredible part of the Nomad. CIG managed to fit a well-designed, functional, and spacious living area into a ship as small as the Nomad. This living area is bigger and better designed than my first apartment. I could actually imagine living on this ship for a while. Moving all the way forward, you will find the cockpit. It's nothing exceptional, but it offers a nice view in all directions which may come in handy when landing. The Nomad flies about as well as you would expect. It's not very fast or maneuverable compared to other ships of similar size, but I think it offsets this well with its other qualities. The Nomad is an excellent solo choice for people who want to have access to many gameplay loops. Deliveries, trading, rock mining, and even combat are a possibility with the Nomad as it comes with enough shields and weapons to hold its own. The main drawback is the open cargo bay. Your cargo is unprotected from enemy fire, and sometimes loaded vehicle can fall out and people can jump on and steal the contents of your rock if you're not careful. However, the Nomad is still a very good choice for solo players. Now let's move on to an equally flexible but multi-crew ship, the Cutlass Black. The Cutlass Black from Drake Interplanetary is widely regarded as the best multi-role ship in the game. I would describe it as the Lada of Star Citizen for my Eastern Bloc comrades. It's simple, it's cheap, and it gets the job done. At the cost of $139.15, it comes with 6 months of insurance and 5000 UEC of starting money. From the outside, the Cutlass has two striking features. First, the side doors that completely open up the cargo bay from the outside, which allows quick loading of cargo. Second, the rotating engines which are capable of VTOL, which is particularly useful for precision landings. The rear ramp allows access to the ship and the cargo bay. The cargo bay will fit a cyclone or a rock or 46 SCU of cargo. The cargo bay also has 6 foldable seats in the rear for passengers. Moving to the front, you will find the living area, which is very sparse with the beds being the only indication that you can stay on this ship for longer periods. There's also a weapons rack and access to the turret. Moving all the way to the front, you will find the pilot and co-pilot seats. Now, the Cutlass is designed to be operated by 2 people, to get the full potential of the pilot-controlled guns as well as the turret. The ship also features a large number of missiles, so it is a very good gunship and can be a dangerous opponent in a fight when operated properly. But it can also be used as a swift cargo runner or for rock mining or for deliveries. Much like the Nomad, the Cutlass offers a lot of possibilities for its price and you can multi-crew it, which actually is a drawback in a way. The Cutlass is very capable even when used alone, but you're losing out on quite a bit of firepower that would help you, especially when fighting more agile opponents, as the Cutlass can become quite sluggish in tight turns. However, it is very fast and very agile for its size. And honestly, if I had to pick one ship to use for the rest of my life, it would be the Cutlass Black. Now let's move on to the Hornet. The F7C Hornet by Anvil Aerospace is the civilian version of the main medium fighter used by the UEE Navy, and it is quite an interesting ship. At the cost of $151.25, it comes with 6 months of insurance and 5,000 UEC of starting money. Out of the box, the Hornet is actually very underwhelming. It does have very imposing visuals and cockpit that's straight out of Star Wars, but that's really it. Until you start upgrading it. It comes stock with only 2 guns, but with some shopping around you can equip up to 6 weapons and a lot of missiles. The Hornet is a very resilient ship, and especially upgraded you will have no problem taking down bounties in much larger ships. However, much like the Arrow, combat is what you're limited to. Now let's move on to something more traditional, the Freelancer. The Freelancer from MISC is widely regarded as the ship for any space trucker. I believe it gained this reputation from its original commercial, but this ship is very capable and reliable. At the cost of $151.25, the Freelancer comes with 6 months of insurance and 5,000 UEC of starting money. Starting from the outside, the Freelancer has a rugged, shiny look typical for MISC ships. There are 2 ways to access the interior, the ladder at the front and through the cargo bay in the rear, which is where we're going to start our tour. The ramp brings you into the cargo bay. Here you will find turret access and enough room for 66 SCU of cargo. It will also fit hoverbikes and the Mule or the Grey Cat PTV, but sadly a Cyclone won't fit. I heard that the Rock will fit with some difficulty, but I wasn't able to do it and it would be a very tight fit. Moving forward you will find some more cargo space and the docking collar. Now this ship was designed and built before docking was introduced to the game, so there might be some changes here in the future. And also the docking collar can be used right now for docking, but you can still use it to board the ship in EVA. Moving forward once more, you will find the living area. It has everything it needs to sustain 4 crew members over a longer journey. And also here's where the ladder you saw outside leads to. Moving all the way forward is the bridge. In this case, I think it's appropriate to call it a bridge as it features 4 seats and looks absolutely stunning. The only drawback is that the view is quite limited due to the signature MISC dashboard and canopy design. The Freelancer is not particularly agile, but it is pretty fast for its size. It can be operated on your own or with one other person to man the turret. It is built for 4 crew members, but currently there isn't anything for the other 2 people to do. Once the cargo refactor is in, they could be useful for loading cargo. Freelancer is mostly suited for cargo gameplay, but I've seen plenty of players upgrading it for combat as it has 4 powerful pilot-controlled guns and can be turned into quite a gunship. And it does have a combat variant that features a ridiculous amount of missiles. Overall, the Freelancer is a great ship, but it is a bit too specialized to be someone's first ship, in my opinion. Let's move on to one of the most iconic ships of Star Citizen, the Constellation Andromeda by Robert Space Industries. Possibly one of the oldest and most iconic ships in Star Citizen and definitely one of the most common out there. This freighter slash gunship has a special place in the heart of every backer. At the cost of $332.75, this game package is not something I imagine most people buying when they first get the game, but it comes with 6 months of insurance, 10,000 UEC of starting money, and a long list of hangar items. There are 2 striking features on the exterior of the Constellation. First, the ship features VTOL thrusters that are independent from the main thrusters, meaning you have the power of both at your disposal when needed. Second, when you move all the way to the rear, you will see the docked Merlin snubfighter that you can dock and undock from the ship in flight. This is one of the coolest features of the Constellation, as it can either provide extra firepower in combat or give you a small ship to scout ahead or just fly around in. To get inside, you have to call down the elevator in the front. This brings you up into the crew area. Now, the Constellation series hasn't gone through any major updates since it was first released, so the crew area is not great, but it will get the job done when the time comes. First, moving towards the back of the ship, you'll find the cargo area. It will fit 96 SC of cargo and any vehicle up to the Ursa rover, which sadly doesn't come with this game package as far as I know. Moving all the way to the back, you'll find the engineering area and then the docking area for the snubfighter. Moving back to the very front, you will find the bridge, where you will find the pilot seats, the operator seats, and the turret access for the 2-man turrets. The Constellation is a large ship, and it flies like one, though I believe the flight experience will be tuned further and the ship will be more maneuverable in the future. It is also a multi-role ship, but I mostly see people use it to run cargo or carry a rock to mine with. But it also features powerful pilot-controlled guns, 2-man turrets, and a lot of missiles. So many players successfully use it as a gunship, because what it lacks in agility, it makes up with robust construction and strong shields. It can be operated on your own as a cargo hauler, but for combat use I would definitely bring turret gunners as it can be easily outmaneuvered by smaller opponents. Overall, the Connie is a great ship, but it is fairly old and I don't think anyone would pick it up as a game package. But if you think you might like it, you can rent and purchase it in-game for in-game currency. And finally, the most expensive game package available to me in the Pledge store, the UEE Exploration 2950 pack. I am mostly including this for completion because I have no idea why anyone would buy it, because as far as I can tell, separately these ships are actually cheaper, though it might be impossible to get some of them with LTI without some CCU chains. So, for the price of $1,331 you get a Karak, Pisces, Freelancer Dur, Terrapin, Cyclone Aran and the Dragonfly. So 6 ships and vehicles in total, all with LTI, and this creates the ultimate exploration bundle as all of these are somehow related to exploration. You also receive a copy of not only Star Citizen but also Squadron 42, and 20,000 UEC of starting money, which I feel like is a bit too low considering the operating costs of all these ships. Now, this pack is way too large to do a tour of every ship included in this video, but do let me know if you want to see all of them and I will make a separate video covering just this pack. And that concludes the presentation of all the game packages. Now, as I promised at the start of the video, I will explain what CCUs are. CCU or Cross Chassis Upgrade allows you to upgrade an existing ship to a different ship with a higher price by basically paying the difference. When you apply a CCU, the properties of the original ship like extra items and insurance are retained, but the ship itself turns into another ship. And now you should understand why LTI tokens are so important to many backers. An LTI token is a cheap ship, usually a small concept, that has LTI or lifetime insurance. You can CCU these tokens to the ship that you want and retain the LTI even if that ship is not available with LTI anymore. It's important to note that some ships are limited and can be bought or upgraded to outside of special events like the IAE or Invictus. And with that being said, that's it for tonight. I hope you found this information helpful. To the existing backers out there, what was your starter ship? Do you still have it? What ship would you like to see have a game package? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, fly safe, and I will see you in the verse.